Hello beautiful internet family, my name is Dan Davis and I'm the creative director here at DansTube.TV, and today I've got my review of the Zhiyun F100 5-ray Lightstick. This thing is insane. As you can see, look how bright this thing is. It's so cool for like product photography or video work. Awesome to set up for like a film set, or if you just want like a back shot, like if you want this behind you kind of lighting up a wall behind you to kind of create a little bit of like dynamics to the shot. This thing has got you sorted, and there's a bunch of options in here. Let's check it out. I'll have a link below to check this out on Zhiyun's website, but honestly, I feel like a Jedi when I hold this thing. It feels like a lightsaber, and just the weight of it, like the distribution of weight is beautiful. It's not top heavy or bottom heavy or weirdly kind of weighted. It just feels perfectly designed. Like it really does feel like a high quality product here when you hold it, even down to kind of like this fake leather, I would assume, down the bottom here, which is kind of like almost the handle that you're holding. You've got fans down the side of the unit here. If it does ever get to a point that it's getting hot, it's got a whole like overheat override, so it just won't overheat at all. And these fan systems will occasionally kick in if you've got it on like 100% at all times. So many different color options, and you've got like a cool little screen on the back here that helps you switch between the different modes. You've also got a tripod screw down the bottom here if you want to kind of mount it and angle it over the top of someone. But honestly, this thing is so much fun. It's awesome for like setting up a scene. So for example, like I'll set this up behind me and it will just kind of create a really cool dynamic to the shot behind me. So now I've got like a little bit of a glow behind me, and it just creates, as you can see, like a different dynamic to the shot. And we'll throw up some other clips now. Like I tested out a product and I was just using the light stick over the top of it just to create some really cool kind of shadows and colors behind it. And it looks really cool even when you've got it like below and you've kind of got it like I guess animating below it or kind of lighting up the area below it. It just creates a really cool effect. So there's so much that you can do with this light stick, and there's a bunch of features that we'll get into. So the little scroll wheel on the back to actually change between different settings. Like right now I'm just changing the intensity of the light, pretty much just turning it completely off. It's on 0 now. And you can see as I'm just spinning away at here, I'm pumping it up to 100%. That's nice and intuitive. And then as you go through the different menus, you can basically change a bunch of different settings. So if we want to look at colors, for example, again, I go up to H, which is for the hue, I would imagine. And then as I'm twisting that stick again, not the stick, as I'm twisting the little like wheel on the back here, you can see it's nice and easy just to adjust between the different colors here. So I really like that. That's like such an easy thing to go between, especially like if you're the one who's in control of lighting. Like it's nice and easy just to slightly adjust the color as you're going. So maybe you want kind of like a different kind of effect, like a sunrise, for example. So you might want to change the intensity of like the yellow. You might want it to go a little bit dimmer, or you might want to go to more of an orange. And that can happen with a really nice like motion here. Like just imagine literally like, I guess you would say like an iPod Classic kind of thing, you know, when you'd like spin around. It feels like that, but it's got more of a tactile feel to it. So that's really cool to customize the color options there. And then if we go to like the different settings here, I can go between like all different settings here. So this is more of like a fire effect. So if you want to kind of like light up an area in the corner, maybe it's a film set, you've got like an imaginary fire over here, you can create this little like pulsing fire effect in the corner. So you'll see it kind of lighting up the wall, for example. So that's going to be a really cool effect. And again, like these are great cinematic effects if you are on a film set, if you are filming short films or some really creative pieces. Like it gives you a lot of freedom there. And then as I go back, I can go between. Now I've got more of kind of a lightning effect, I guess you would call it. So this is just like lightning strikes, as you can see. I've got the fire, which I showed you before, which is cool. You've got this effect here, which is a little bit different again. And I can change kind of the pre-programmed options in here if I want. I've got SOS, which is obviously quite handy, especially in like a film set, but if you know you actually were in trouble, it'd be nice to have like a really big light stick like this. Maybe you're camping and you want to put this out to catch some attention. That SOS feature is cool. You got the TV option as well. You've got more of like it looks like a light bulb, I guess, but it's kind of flickering. So you've got like a flickering light bulb, maybe like a haunted kind of house, I guess, haunted mansion, and you've got like a flickering light bulb. That would be a cool effect. You've got a candle here, which is a bit more subtle again. and then back to the lightning. So bunch of different like cinematic options there. You've obviously got all the color options. And then if you want to go for just like a standard white light, like you just literally want to light up a set, or you want to have a light behind you or in front of the camera to light it up a little bit more. Oh, that's actually really bright. Then you can go between like the different Kelvin temperatures. So that's at like 4,000 Kelvin, and we can adjust that all the way up to 6,200. So 6,200 Kelvin, like a really intense white light. We can obviously change the intensity of all of these things. So if we just go down and then we can scroll and we can change that intensity. So maybe we just want to go a little bit dimmer like this, or we want it off and we just want it like a real subtle kind of lighting spot. That's cool. Or you can go all the way up to 100%, like I said, which is where it's pumping out those 100 watts. So the 5-ray F100, the 100 obviously implies 100 watts, but like it can get a little bit hot when you've got it on that like intense setting. But like I said, you've got so many different fans. It looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fans. 6 fans along the back. When the fans do kick in, like they're not that loud at all, and they very rarely kick in. Like I've had this thing on 100% for such a long time just behind me, and it very rarely kicks in. It's only if like you've accidentally covered up the vents or something like that. But the cooling on it's really smart. Like it does a great job. It never overheats. It's just that panel on the front that can get a little bit hot if you've got it on 100% all the time. But outside of that, it really just does such a great job. The 5-ray F100 literally weighs 950 grams, so it's not insanely heavy considering what you're getting in here. Like this is a powerful unit. Like I said, the weight distribution is awesome, but 950 grams, again, I feel like I'm holding like a baseball bat or some sort of lightsaber or something like that. It's such a cool feel to it, and it's not crazy heavy. Like if you're holding it like this, for example, trying to get some cool shots over a product, or maybe you're lighting up a set or something, like it isn't crazy heavy if you're going to be holding it for an extended period of time. But then with that 1/4-inch screw to, you know, chuck into a tripod or some sort of like mounting rig that's angling down, maybe you've got like a top-down studio setup and you want to mount this thing as opposed to like some massive lights. Like I've got these 2 studio lights either side of the camera now, and they're like really big. You would not want to mount them off the roof, but maybe something like this, like you could mount it to some sort of beam or something, even like zip tie it to a beam. And let's say, for example, you are doing a top-down shot, like this thing would be awesome because it's relatively thin, lightweight, compact, really powerful, and then it's nice and easy to charge. So you can literally just plug it in and obviously charge it if you're doing some form of like top-down shot. But the other thing that's cool is you can also have it on charge while you're maxing out its capability. So you can have it at like 100% settings. You can be pumping as much light as you want out of it while it's charging at the same time, and it will charge the unit and power it at 100%. It doesn't throttle it or anything like that. So that's a really cool feature as well, especially if this is like a regular lighting rig that you're going to be using. Maybe you've got like multi-day shoots, or even if you've got like a whole day shoot, for example. The fact that you can charge this as you're going is really cool, but if you forget to obviously bring your charger as well, like you're still going to get a decent amount of battery life out of it. So in terms of battery life, this guy does have decent battery life, but you might want to keep it charged and plugged in if you are doing like a whole day shoot, for example. But if we look at the actual batteries, it's got 6 built-in 2600 milliamp hour batteries, which gives you 1 hour and 4 minutes of runtime at 50 watts running power. So that's awesome, you know, for most scenarios, unless you're in like a really serious kind of film set where you need to power it constantly, which is, like I said, still possible if you have power close by and you can plug it in and run it at the same time. But an hour and 4 minutes, like let's say, for example, you know, you are filming a video for YouTube, like you're probably not going to be filming for an hour and 4 minutes, right? Like you may film like a 20-minute video. Maybe you could fit in 2 videos and have this guy in the back. You also don't have to have it at the 50 watts power. You could have it a little bit dimmer. But if you do have it running at like its intense levels of the 100%, obviously it's going to run down a little quicker again. But it really just depends on, I guess, your workflow. For like YouTube kind of stuff, like that really easy stuff where you're like in a studio like this, I could have this plugged in constantly behind me, plug it in down the side here and have it running the entire time. So in that kind of scenario, nice and easy. But if you are out in the set, like you maybe have to do a few kind of like sweeping shots over something, I wouldn't imagine you'd be doing that for like hours on end. You'd probably have a chance to go and charge it again and come back. And like scenes change. If you're doing a short film, maybe this is going to be like a lightning kind of effect. Maybe you're in a forest. You've got this against a tree and maybe like it's shooting out some kind of a lightning effect, which you might want to have for a very short period of a scene. It could only be like a 3-second scene. So for an hour of runtime, like, you're gonna be fine. And then if you're doing like a candlelit kind of dinner, or like maybe you've got a fireplace that you're trying to, I guess, simulate with this unit here, like, you're gonna be fine. An hour's heaps of times to set it up, and then you can just plug it in. So we just set up a really cool kind of purple effect behind me. Again, it's like, this took me like 5 seconds to put it behind me, and now I've got like a cool halo effect behind me, and it just adds a little bit more character to a scene. Like, I keep changing locations for these videos, as I'm sure you've noticed, but like, it's cool that I can literally just set this up. I don't have to worry about like any elaborate setup. Just got a basic pillow over here to kind of contrast the colors a little bit, and then just a cool purple light behind me. It just adds like a little bit more character to the scene. And as you would have seen throughout this video, like, it's cool to go over products if you're doing like product photos or product videos. It just adds just an element of fun to the clip. Like, having those fun colors added in, or having those kind of shadows like swipe across almost, which is really cool if you're trying to like amplify or focus in on one specific thing. Maybe it's like some sort of text on a product and you want to like amplify that. You can swipe across and it's going to create the shadow effect, and then focus in on that text or that port, maybe if it's like a product that you're reviewing, or maybe you just literally want to light up like a subject, like a person. And you know, if they've got glasses on, you can create like a cool effect as you're going around. So honestly, the possibilities are endless. And for people out there who have used lighting sticks and lighting setups in the past, like, this one here is probably one of the coolest ones I've used, just in terms of like the build quality is solid. The like bag that you get with it, which I didn't even mention, is like a really solid bag. Like, Zhiyun have gone all out with this unit here. It's got a little handle that you can take with you, nice and compact. And then you've got like the charging unit, you've got the manual as you usually would, a few other cool little things, cables and whatnot. But, oh, dropping things everywhere. But the fact that you've got like a perfectly designed bag to just slot it in and take it with you, again, nice little touch. And it's not insanely expensive for this unit, considering what you're getting. It definitely will add a lot to your footage, to your scenes, to your films, if you are into film, whatever it is you're into. So definitely check it out. I will have a link below, but I do appreciate everyone's support. I know this is a different kind of video on the channel, but I like to check out some different tech as well. I've always kind of been into the tech space, checking out some cool stuff. This one's super practical though for me. Like, I'm a video creator, right? So it's like something like this behind me is just gonna make a blank white wall have a bit more character. When I'm checking out products, like, it just adds so much more to the scene. And it's something that you can't do with like these units here. You know, these are the like studio lighting units. Like, these guys are cool, right? And they do the job, but you know, they're not portable at all in the slightest. They're a little bit awkward, and they're just too much, you know? Like, it's only put good for like a setting like this when I'm at home, but to then add the element of another light behind me, even if it was just a white light, just to create a little bit of, I guess, intensity to the scene, like, it just really adds to it. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, everyone. I do appreciate all of your support, and I will chat to you in the next one. Peace.